Hey, how you doing? Let's talk about tomorrow's full moon. It's going to be pretty intense. Full moons are all about manifesting, and the last new moon was in Virgo. It was the solar eclipse, and it represented taking actionable steps and planning to begin the next chapter of our lives. This full moon is now time for those plans to bear fruit. Time for planning is over, and now is time to take action. Aries ruler Mars is in its second sign, Scorpio, indicating this full moon is about recognizing our own power and seizing it. Mars is square Pluto, the other ruler of Scorpio, indicating some sort of major struggle we are experiencing socially, where perhaps we need to reevaluate our friendships and or relationships and the fairness of them. Perhaps we're being taken advantage of or just sacrificing too much of ourselves for others. As the sun is in Libra and moon is in Aries, this balance of what we need and what is fair is crucial for what the full moon has to teach us. And we can also see this reflected in Mercury Scorpio, who has a large role to play, being the apex of a T square with Pluto Aquarius and Jupiter Cancer, as well as a yod with Uranus Gemini and Neptune Aries conjunct Saturn Pisces. The T square shows the major conflict of communicating our needs and identifying where we are giving too much of ourselves to others emotionally and what needs to change. The yod recognizes the change needs to happen, but perhaps we don't know what we need yet, only that we need it. The answer to both of these aspects can be found in the opposition to Mercury, which is Chiron. Chiron is retrograde in Aries, and for a while now, it's been asking us to reflect on ourselves and focus on healing ourselves. And that indicates that in this moment, it's important to focus on what is right for you first and foremost. You can't help others when you're struggling to help yourself. And right now, that is what is most important. Neptune conjunct Saturn probably has you feeling as if you have no clue what you're supposed to do, but Aries isn't a sign that needs a plan. It's a sign of action. So even if you don't know exactly where you're going or what you're doing, the important thing is that you just act. The Aries moon will know the answer through emotional intuition. Becoming conjunct Chiron will be the next transit moon makes right after this full moon, and that indicates quick results. And if we notice Venus, shortly after this, it will soon move close enough to form the grand trine with Uranus and Gemini and Pluto in Aquarius. You can see in my chart here, it's already showing it, but it's not quite there yet. Venus doesn't have as big an orb as, say, the sun and moon, the luminaries. So it's almost there, not quite yet. Um, but this indicates that our relationships and social standings will again achieve equilibrium after this transformation. So, between the Mars squaring Pluto, the Mercury T square and Yod, and the Jupiter T square with Sun and Moon, it's important to recognize that emotions are going to be extremely high and arguments are likely. But these will be necessary arguments. Right now is the time to express the emotions that you have been setting to the side because more important things have been getting in the way. It's time to choose yourself, stand your ground. Time to be brutally honest, but not needlessly cruel. Recognize your own power. Trust in choosing yourself first. And the right people in your life who truly care for you will still be there on the other side of your transformation. The wrong ones will not. And you can see here that when Venus moves close enough to make that grand trine with Uranus and Pluto, it'll also be close enough to complete that mystic rectangle that's also showing on this chart between itself and Jupiter and Pluto and Saturn conjunct Neptune. So this is showing relationship dynamics going through a transformation, people that aren't healthy for you leaving, people that are healthy for you staying, and it will, in the end, work out for the best. But right now, before Venus makes those aspects, Moon will be making that conjunction to Chiron. Pretty much within a day of it doing this full moon, it's only 1 degree away from being loosely conjunct. The moon starts becoming conjunct within 10 degrees. It's 11 degrees away from Chiron at the time it makes the full moon. So, very shortly after the full moon, it will be conjunct Chiron, but it'll be directly conjunct Chiron within about a day. And so, there we see that we need to trust our emotional intuition and that we need to trust in prioritizing ourselves and not allowing others to manipulate us into sacrificing ourselves for them. And afterwards, the relationships will heal, and your social standing may be different, but it will ultimately be for the better. Right now is a time for choosing yourself and focusing on healing yourself. And that is what this full moon is all about. And you can see this reflected in the dispositor tree. So let's take a look at that. You can see here Mars is at the top. It's in its own sign of Scorpio, and it rules more planets than anything else. Mars is the key planet of this chart. We have Chiron connected to it, we have the moon connected to it, Neptune connected to it, Mercury connected to it, and Pluto connected to it. Although, since Mars is in Scorpio, we're in this situation where Mars rules itself, but Pluto is also pretty heavily impacted there. And so let's go down that path. We have Mercury ruling Uranus, which rules Pluto, which goes back up to Mars. So we have a cycle there of recognizing our power, communicating that, it communicating the change that we need. That's Uranus and Gemini, and Pluto and Aquarius, transformation of social standings. Mercury is also ruling Venus and Virgo. So we are expressing that change in ourselves, but we're also talking about how we are serving others, how we need others to be there for us. And Sun in Libra, ruled by Venus there. Sun's actually at the very bottom of this chart. And so it's through this intense communication about what we need to change that we will find that Libra balance that we need. We can also see over here another interesting cycle where we have Mars going, or Moon being ruled by Mars, Jupiter being ruled by Moon, Saturn being ruled by Pisces, or Saturn being ruled by Jupiter, but also Neptune being ruled by Mars and Saturn being ruled by Neptune. So there we can see that discussing what we need for ourselves emotionally, but also not knowing exactly what we need to do. So we have that ideal, but we may not know exactly how we need to achieve it, only that we need to act on it. And so I find that very interesting. This is why I like to do dispositor trees. You can see what I see in the chart pretty easily in this dispositor tree as well. But that's about all I have for you guys here. I hope that you find this helpful. I hope that it allows you to do whatever it is you need to do. This is a super moon as well, so it's going to be really big. It's going to be really pretty. Make sure you check it out Monday night. It's going to be exactly opposite the sun, a little bit before midnight for me. I live on the East Coast, so I think it's 11:47 for me. So 10:47 for Central Time, 9:47 Mountain Time, 8:47 for Pacific Time. I'm not going to do it for every country. I don't even know if anybody outside of America even watches my content, except for my teacher, of course. But anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful day. You can book a reading with me at www.dhastrology.com. And how you doing? I couldn't sleep tonight. I've been up all night just watching the stars, and so that's why I'm doing my video for the day in the middle of the freaking night instead of, usually in the afternoon like I normally do. All right, y'all. Love you. Have a good one.